Hi there. So last week I did a video talking about intensity and setting the intensity for the programs that you're working towards, be it muscle growth or strength or power development. Today I thought I'd talk about push-ups in particular and show some examples of how we can progress that, so that if you're working within those particular boundaries and you're looking for the next step up or indeed regressing it down, we can deal with those. So we're going to start with the baseline exercise, and then from there we'll look at the progressions and regressions in order to hit your training goals. Okay, so we're going to start with the basic press up, which is the standard baseline, which is where you'll be looking to set the baseline of athletic ability within press up. So that's going to be on the feet and hands. Okay, now obviously we can regress this to the knees and we'll look at ways of that, and we'll progress and show other ways from that. So in order to do it, we're going to be stacking the shoulders above the elbows, above the wrists, keeping the line, body nice and straight, on the toes or balls of the feet, core engaged. So make sure we're tensing, giving the butt a nice squeeze, pulling the belly button towards the spine so we get the good core activation throughout. From this position, we're going to keep the elbows tucked in towards the side, not flaring out, and we're going to lower down just so we're about an inch or so off the floor, and then press up. Okay, and you'll repeat this, keeping the back nice and straight. We don't want to be looking in and rounding our spine or looking forward. Back nice and straight, down and up. Okay, so that would be your standard press up. Now from here, you can work various angles, and that will be within your training aims, and particularly where you're trying to hit within the pectoral or shoulder muscle, or even the triceps and stuff. Now I'd aim for a slightly, not elbows right in, but just out to the side. If we go too far with the elbows, we're going to put more stress on the shoulders. So we'll keep a nice in, not directly in, and just press up from there. Okay, so ways that we could alter this in order to change and progress the exercise and create more intensity is to look at changing the speed of our rep. So we could slow down the eccentric phase, the raising phase, or indeed the whole movement. So we could from here, again, set in a nice core position, core engaged, back, buttocks tense, slowly lower, nice and controlled, and push up nice and more dynamically. Again, slowly lower and push up. Okay, so this will be creating, putting your body under tension for longer. So obviously the more your body's under tension, the more the muscle is going to be working, the more tension they're going to be put through. So if you're able to do 10 to 15 press-ups normally, if you were to increase that tension time, you might find that drops to 6 to 8, 9, 10, something along those lines. So that's one form of progression that we could include within the press-ups, the standard press-ups. So the first regression that we can look at from the baseline of where our press-ups would be just modifying the lever length. So we're going to be doing that by reducing the length of our body. So we'll do that by placing the knees on the floor. So from our standard press-up position, remember, hands, elbows, shoulder, all stacked together in the normal press-up plank position. We bring our knees down to the floor, we can lift the toes up. We've now created that straight line from knees to shoulder. Okay, so the lever length has now changed. From here, again, keeping the buttocks tight and the core tight, we can lower ourselves down and raise back up. So again, we're now looking at the press up in a slightly modified version that will make it slightly easier. So if you struggle with the full press up or the baseline press up, it's much better to work and target your muscles properly under a nice tension here and develop that strength and then your baseline strength before progressing to the baseline press up. Okay, so don't look at this as a lesser version, it's just allowing you to work your muscles correctly and develop what you need to develop. If we start finding this easier, but again we can't progress yet to the full press up, we could always again alter the eccentric phase of the movement. So from here, set yourself, lower the knees, raise the feet, keep the buttocks tight, core tight, pull that belly button in, and again we'll just slow down that lowering phase. Okay, and then up. So again, so now we're increasing that time under tension again, just from the modified position. So how can we progress the press up? If you're in the standard baseline press up position, you're finding that you're hitting your rep targets with ease. The alternatives we have is what we talked about, it's increasing time under tension, so we're increasing the eccentric phase. We could also look at adding more reps, which maybe takes you out of the specific zone you're looking to work in, or we could look at changing the number of sets that you're doing. Okay, but other alternatives could be, so rather than increasing the height, we could decrease the height. So we're going to put the effects of gravity more on the body so that in effect it increases the weight. So rather than putting the hands on the chair, we're going to be looking to put the feet on the chair this time. So once again, we'll be engaging the core, tensing the glutes, and just lowering ourselves down. So again, the effects of gravity are working on us more this time, making the movement a lot harder. Now obviously these variations are going to target the pectoral muscles, the deltoids in slightly different ways than your standard. So it is going to alter your workout and the effect slightly, but it may put you back within the rep range that you were looking for your set program. When we're restricted with the gyms and equipment available to us, that is certainly an alternative for trying to increase that intensity and get you back within the rep range that you're looking to work within. Okay, so what are other progressions that we could look at within the press-ups and exercise there to increase our intensity that we're working towards? One is looking for objects to try and increase either the instability or maybe the range of motion. So I've got here a couple of medicine balls that we could use, but it could be anything. It could be footballs. That's going to cause a lot more instability. It might be too much. Maybe they're slightly deflated, might make it a bit better. The objects don't have to be the same size either. If they're slightly different inside, obviously it's going to put your body into more unique positions and allow you to target and work the muscles in a different way. If you are going to do that, I just recommend that you do equal number of sets so that you can alternate which way around you're working, so both the left and the right side gets worked on the slightly higher or lower position. So from here we've got 2 medicine balls, so variations that we could do. Now again, these can be regressed in the same way, so should I find it, if I move to the medicine balls and I find them difficult, I could move down to the alternated position, which would be with on the knees to begin with, and then build back up to that baseline level. Okay, so if I am able to do the baseline level press up and I move on to this, that would be the next step up, and then I can move to a baseline level here. So just a nice easy one to begin with. It's just causing that instability. So you've put your body under a bit more tension here. It's going to work that core more. So we're just going to lower down and press up. So very similar to the press up we were doing before, just now obviously we've increased that instability. That again is going to really work the core more, but at the same token your arms are under that tension, under that play, so you're going to require to stabilise the muscles a lot more to help lock that position in, and again get a bit more activation throughout the whole region. Okay, alternatively with this, because you're off the floor, you can increase that range of motion by lowering slightly lower. So whereas a normal press up position, you'd maybe go down to a 90 degree or inch off the floor, which would be slightly over 90. Here we could increase that range of motion by going below the angle of the ball and then driving back up. Okay, so that we're getting a greater range of motion within the pectoral and the chest muscles, so it's allowing us to alter that workout. Again, should we need to increase the intensity here, we can look at increasing the eccentric phase so that we make that lowering element longer. So another alternative we have with the medicine ball is using the passover. So we're going to crossover, sorry. So we're going to do a press up one side and the other side. So earlier when I talked about instability and varying the height, this incorporates that and core stability and a bit of movement across. So from here we'll start with one hand on the medicine ball, one hand on the floor. Again, we're going to engage the glutes and tense the core. Would lower down, press up and over. Press up and over. Okay, again, should you find this a bit too difficult, we could take that down to the knees and look at a slightly altered version there so that we can hit our target rep ranges. Okay, so there's some alternatives. Other methods you could use, if you've got a Bocey ball, you could use that. A Swiss ball, you could use that. You could put the feet on the medicine ball, so that we're causing the instability at the other end. Or if we've got a Swiss ball and medicine balls, we could use both. Okay, so that's a couple of different variations. And obviously this might target the core a lot more as opposed to just the chest muscles, but if we think of the press up overall, it does target not just the pectorals and the front deltoids, triceps, but the core in order to keep the balance in position. Okay, so that was a whistle-stop tour of press-ups and how we can change the lever length in order to increase the effects of gravity on us and also increase that tension that we're putting our muscles under. We can also look at changing the eccentric phase so that we're increasing the time under tension, therefore putting our muscles through a lot more strain and effort, which will allow us to reach those target rep ranges. Other methods that you could use, which I don't have here available to show you today, we could use a TRX machine whereby we either place our hands or the feet in the TRX. Again, that's going to cause a lot more stress and strain on the core and a lot more instability, which will allow you to focus that energy in and really direct the play through the chest and shoulder muscles. Okay. Another alternative you could do is, obviously, if we were in a gym and we were looking to change that intensity, we'd be looking to add weight to the movement. And now that's not impossible to do at home. I'm sure many of us have backpacks available to us that we could fill with objects, place on our back. That would increase the load and the intensity of the movement. And again, we could work that through all the alternatives that I've shown within this video. Alternatively, if we haven't got a backpack, another option we have available, cheap weight, pop to your local supermarket. It's probably back in stock. Get yourself a big bag of rice. Now they can come in 8 kg bags. Okay, so if you get one of them, they're quite nice in order to just be able to place on the back. So it's almost like a sandbag or a carry bag. Indeed, a sandbag would work as well. So that you could place a bit of weight on your back. And again, you can work the press ups through all the variations that we've looked at today, which would increase that intensity. If you've got someone available to assist you, they could place more than one bag on your back if you needed to really add a bit more weight to the movement to increase that intensity. For those homeschooling, get your kids to sit on your back. Depending on the age of the kid, 16-year-old might cause difficulties. If you've got younger kids, then certainly their body weight may increase that intensity, but still allow you to work with that movement. And if you're someone that's able to bang out press-ups, nice, good form, I mean, form's the important thing. If we can bang out 15, 20 good press-ups, and we want to increase the intensity by putting a child on our back or that bag of rice, don't be afraid to regress the position, i.e. go down to the knees, okay? Just because you can do a standard press up or that baseline press up normally doesn't mean that when we're changing one of the variables that we don't need to also look at altering another just to make us work within that range. It's better to do 10 to 12 weighted press ups from the knee position as opposed to 8 to 10 sloppy ones from the baseline position where you've added that weight on. Okay, so always make sure that you're trying to hit good form whichever variation of the press up you're doing. I hope this video helps and that you're able to take some of this advice and put it towards your training program and start hitting those training goals that you're looking to do during this lockdown period.